And we are live. Hello, everybody, and welcome to Forever Sports. It is a Saturday afternoon, and bit of a dead rubber game to come here. Bulls versus Stade Francais. But at the end of the day, there's a bit of ruggers, and therefore we're going to be live. And we're going to be bringing you the live coverage of this game as the Bulls, who have had an awful Champions Cup, are still playing for something, to be fair. It's a dead rubber in terms of their Champions Cup ambitions. However, they are still in line to potentially make the Challenge Cup playoffs, and they're ideally to try and get a win to try and make sure they get that sort of vital fifth place, which will then see them drop down to the Challenge Cup, and maybe the Challenge Cup becomes a competition they can win. It's not the competition they'll probably want to win, but better than nothing, isn't it? So yeah, I think it's. I actually don't think winning the Challenge Cup would be the worst thing for the Bulls, and yeah, I'm hoping that we're just going to get a good game. I think it's probably the main thing. So we've got a poll running in the comments, or we had a poll running in the comments. It's still running in the comments. It is still running in the comments. Let me know who you are supporting in the chat, and let me know who you think is going to win in the poll. And let's get settled in, shall we? So one thing I just want to try and quickly just sort out. That's what I was trying to do. Is I want to just sort out the Stade Francais name, because I mean, who puts a football for rugby team name that is that long? It's a little bit just unnecessary, in all honesty. And very frustrating from a Stade Francais point of view is that there's none of us South Africans. You got Jeremy Ward is over there, JJ van Mesh, for example, is over there playing well as well. I was really hoping to see them play today. Unfortunately, not the case. But we will have some Saffers abroad over in the Racing side later, with Fachiba Diamani starting, Tristan Taylor starting as well. Not a player a lot of people have watched, but he's a nice player to watch. Lee Marvin Mazabuko's on the bench later for Racing in that Stormers games. So that should be a lot of fun. And very, very keen to see how those guys go later. But. We first need to get through the Bulls game, and Stade Francais in that bright pink should be quite cool. It's a very nice kit as well, which is quite always quite nice. I'm a big fan. I've got a Stade Francais shirt actually. Maybe I should put that on. Just piss some Bull supporters off. I've got a Stade Francais shirt. I've got a Lou Rugby shirt and a Racing shirt. So yeah, maybe I should get one of those out there. I can actually wear the Stade Francais shirt for this watch along, and I can wear the Racing shirt jersey later for the other watch along. And I was so pissed off because I got a Racing shirt, the actual match day jersey, because Sia was over there, and I was like, this is gonna be cool. Like, he's gonna make a name for himself. He's gonna be like a star. That's the Racing. I'm gonna have a Racing jersey from when he went over. This is gonna be really, really lacquer. And then he left. And cheers, man. In fact, I'll actually send him an invoice and just say, mate, I bought this jersey because you were there. Like, come on, surely you can help a man out. Not that I'm going to get a Sharks jersey instead, so maybe that might be a bit of a deal breaker if you were to agree to any sort of compensation. You'd be like, well, cool, you're going to then spend the money on a Sharks jersey. I'm going to say I'd rather wear... I'm trying to think of what jersey I'd rather wear the Sharks jersey. Lots of them, to be honest, lots of them. You never find me wearing another jersey of the Bulls, Stormers, or Sharks. I'll wear Puma's jersey, I suppose. I don't think I'll wear a Cheetah's jersey. I don't know why. Just don't think like I would. But yeah, it's an interesting one actually. What jerseys would you guys wear and wouldn't you wear? I need to know, kind of, like, as a Stormers fan, I wouldn't wear this jersey. As a Lions fan, for example, I wouldn't wear this jersey. It's quite interesting to see, and is there as much tribalism in like the rugby versus like the football, for example? In terms of, like, United fans will never wear a Manchester City jersey and the likes. It'd be quite interesting to see how that, what the sort of the tribalism and the kind of the vibe is there. But yeah, we're getting away from the point here. We're going to go through the team lines in just a little bit, and Drake White, despite this being quite a bit of a dead rubber, has named a very strong side, and hopefully that means that we should get at least some decent rugby in, with kickoff coming up in 7 minutes time. And then tonight we will be live for a Racing versus Stormers, and we won't be live for the Lions game, unfortunately, and unfortunately won't be live for the Sharks game tomorrow because I'm actually going to a concert, which is going to be quite fun. So if anybody's going to Calabash tomorrow in Joburg, let me know. Maybe we can have a beer there. But Albert van Lingen saying, Stormers locker room, Raider thoughts. No idea who's picked, so can't predict players of this game. I'm not sure what you mean about the Stormers thing. I haven't seen anything about that. And then saying, I'll only wear Cheers jersey, will never wear Stormers jersey. Fair enough. Fair enough. So who? I mean, Albert, you being a Cheers fan, who would you consider your biggest rivals? I know there's quite a big rivalry between the Lions and the Cheers when they split. I mean, they were Cats, obviously. So as a Cheers fan, who is your biggest rival? I mean, the North-South derby is supposed to. I mean, the Stormers Bulls one's quite a big one, but I think trying to work out, even as a Stormers fan, do you consider your Bulls your biggest rival or your Sharks? Coastal derby always seems to be quite a big thing. Obviously, the Yuxke derby. I think the Lions are biggest rivals of the Bulls down the road. I don't know if Bulls will consider us their biggest rivals, for example. Bulls might consider Stormers their biggest rivals. Quite an interesting one, actually. Maybe we should do a video on rugby rivalries and where they stand. I'm going to try and get more fans in there. And, so if you are a Stormers fan, let me know who you personally, your rival is. If you are a Sharks fan, who do you think your biggest rival is in the country? And if you're a Bulls fan, who do you think your biggest rival is in the country? In fact, maybe we'll do polls on that a bit later as well. But until then, please do smash a like on the video. Let's get some people chatting here. Let's kind of share this on the socials. Get some lads and lasses into the chat and get everybody pumping up here. I'm trying to work out. This is not our first watch along of the year, I don't think. I'm trying to work out. No, it can't be mine. Surely not. I was doing a couple on that first weekend. I think. Sure I was. And so, yeah, in fact, I did one last week. Duh. So, but yeah, I'm still kind of sort of stepping, I don't know about you guys, kind of sort of settling into the year here. And lots and lots of rugby, quite thick and fast. Hopefully, things will sort of settle in terms of the staff and performances, because it's not been particularly impressive thus far. So we need a lot of changes and a bit of momentum from a staffing point of view if we are to really start to mount a bit of a charge in our different competitions. So quickly just sharing the link on the socials, getting everybody into the chat. Right, should we go through the lineups? And I think that's a good way to start. For the Bulls, by the way, as a very, very good side being named by Jake White. So in the front row, it is Gerrit Steenekamp, Johan Grobelaar, and Wilco Louw. Second row, Ruan Vermaak and Ruan Lokier makes his return from injury. First game back since that hamstring injury that kept him out of that end of year tour with the Boks. Marcel Coetzee gets his, I think it's 50th Bulls appearance today. And he's next to Albert Louw and Cameron Honeycomb in what is pretty much the strongest Bulls loose trio. You then got Ambrose Pierre next to Jan Goosen, Sergio Peterson, Sebastian de Klerk, and Devin Williams, the back three. Harold Forster next to Steven Gans in the centres. Off the bench, Ak van der Merwe, Aluluto Tsekweni, Francois Klopper, Reinhard Ludwig, Nizam Carr, Zach Berger, Butter Chamberlain, as well as Kanan Moody. For Stade Francais, some big names to look out for. We'll talk about them in a bit. But in the front row, it's Isaac Kofi Alvaro Garcia, Francisco Gomez Cadella, a very nice player from Argentina. Jean-Martin Cezo, Baptiste Pesenti in the second row. Then you got Pierre Huget, Sekou Makalu captains the side. Nice player as well. Watch out for him. The very large Johan Tanga. Watch out for him in the number 8 jersey. He's a ball-carrying menace. And then you've got Thibaut Matassi next to Louis Carbonell in the half-back pairing. Your centers are Julian Daboy and Leo Monin. And the back three is Charles Lavoie, Raphael Storti, and Jonas. And you've then got off the bench Luca Priasvili, Hugo Ndiaye, Braxton Luayasi, Ali McCree, Andy Timo, Mamadou Meta, Louis Forsens Baudet, and Matthias Aibo. So, yeah, not the not a bench you're going to know a lot of. But Joe Jonas is somebody worth watching for out because he is, first of all, he's quite young and quite exciting. And the cool thing about him is that he is South African. He doesn't. I don't think. He hasn't played in South Africa for a long, long time. But he went to Glenwood, and basically went straight out of school overseas. So more kind of, I think he's actually officially French qualified. In all honesty, Because he's been there, I think, for 5 years now. So I don't think he's got too many Springbok ambitions, but he is a South African. So watch out for him. He is the... Actually, earlier I was thinking of the main South African, but I actually forgot that he was playing over here. So a couple of people in the comments over here, and Albert's saying... It's personal rival for me, so my biggest rival in SA is Stormers. Saying, I think I've gone in the Stormers locker rooms in Paris and cleaned them out. That's wild. Yeah, Paris, eh? We were in Paris for 3 hours and my brother got pickpocketed. And what I need, I need a zebra bucket hat. I need to go to an EPCR game, a Champions Cup game, and I've actually just missed my chance as well. I've got to get myself a zebra bucket hat. That's interesting. I actually haven't seen that. I've been actually very busy today, so... Yeah, that's hectic. Not ideal, is it? But hopefully it doesn't throw them off too much tonight. Kevin O'Connor saying, evening from Cork, what group are the Stormers in? Yo. It's a good question. I want to say they're in group 3, but that is pure speculation. Absolute pure speculation. They are in group 4. I was close. And Bulls are in group 3. Pool 3 and Pool 4. And... obviously, based on that, with selection, the Bulls will win comfortably. I mean, yeah, you'd like to think so, but they've not been good so far this season, have they? So maybe not as easy as that. Sean O'Farrell saying, I see some French player, mainly Ramos, complaining there in the French proper dropped an idea of format 18 teams similar to the Champions League. David says, it's a shame both these teams seem to have snubbed the great Champions Cup. Well, I think they're both pretty much out of it, in fairness. So they've kind of decided, well, you know, why... Well, and previously, look, I don't think the Bulls necessarily snubbed it as much. They've just been really poor. Well, charged on early on, and Johanna Kromela has given it out to Cameron Hanekom. Cameron Hanekom, what do you should have held on to that? But an early opportunity as Harold Forster carries it into contact. What a start to the game. Literally, we're like 30 seconds in here. Marcel Coetzee has got a bit. But I think if nothing else, the Bulls give him something, give their supporters something to cheer about. As Cameron Hanekom is brought down to ground. Volko low. I think the main thing for Jake White is now building momentum, probably for the URC. So I'd be interested to know what he thinks about the Challenge Cup and whether maybe they're looking to try and win that, or is this basically like a URC pre-season game, inverted commas, in terms of then getting back. I think they play against next weekend. You've got the Lions. However, they have lost the ball forward and they've found touch. So good work there from Stade Francais. Not a bad start for the Bulls, but next weekend when the it is the Oxford derby on Saturday when we do return back to the URC. Decent set piece first up there for the Bulls. Very nicely taken from Sebastian de Klerk. Looking for support there. Is a penalty advantage here. Ambrose Pierre looking to snipe, pops it up to Volko Low. Big season ahead now, big year ahead for Volko Low. Got himself back into that Springbok setup, so very much needs to continue progressing and continue making himself a key part of the Rassie Erasmus plans. So important for him to go better. But Damon Williams got a bit of space brought down by Sekou Makalu. Wow, what an offload from Cameron Hanekom. It's just short. Quick recycle here, and Bruce Pierre pops it. Oh, Cyril Peterson spilled it forward. Oh, how has he done that? Oh, goodness me, what a waste. Very good from the Bulls. Very, very good. But then squandered in the end. And I think that they'll say probably a penalty advantage. But however, they are looking at potential deliberate knockdown. So they are going to go up to the TMO and see what they have to say. Kieran saying, cheers. Ulster qualify if either Stormers or Bulls win. Right, not sure which one. I think that is the Sharks group, actually. So it could actually be neither of these two. I'm sure that Ulster win last night was in Pool 1. It is indeed. So Sharks at the moment are above Ulster. Sharks need to lose by more than 27 points and not get a single bonus point for Ulster to qualify for the next round of the Champions Cup. So Sharks lose within 27 points. They go through. If they get a single bonus point for like losing, for example, they go through. And if they win, obviously they go through. So that, you don't want to be an Ulster fan right now because it's a tough way of trying to qualify later. Sean O'Farrell saying, does Owen Farrell start for Racing? He does indeed. Looking at a potential deliberate knockdown here, definitely, I think, touches it, and that's pretty much what forces Sergio, well, makes it impossible for Sergio Peach to actually hold on to it. So I think we're actually looking at a penalty try here. Yeah, and a penalty try is exactly what we're looking at as the referee awards, and a yellow card. Perfect start for the Bulls. Not an ideal start for Stade Francais. Now we get our yellow cards up for Stade Francais. We are down to 14 men now. Yeah, I'm excited to watch Owen Farrell later against the Stormers, actually. As well, Chiba Diamani versus Evan Rust. That's going to be a very fun battle. So Sekou Makalu's having a chat to the referee. The fact that that he's still playing, I think he should have been banned for like 7-8 weeks. You look at that tackle he had towards the end of last year, it was absolutely dreadful. So, yeah, I don't think he should still be playing, but yeah, we need to actually have a serious look at that, to be perfectly honest. Short of foul say, be interesting to see who wins in the battle of Essa Coach for Van Kron or Jake or Jack. And I tell you that whole which is the game I actually really want to watch. Oh, I think it's the Bath, yeah, Bath Leinster later. That's going to be flipping cool to watch. And then we're live tonight. Yeah, so it'll be a long night. A very, very long night of rugby ahead. But hey, that's what we're in for, aren't we? You know, and then after that, we get into playoffs. Then it gets really, really cool. Because then it becomes, teams which are far more closer together, for example, than form and the likes of that. Home advantage becomes so important. Sekou Makalu on the ball at the moment. Very interesting player, Sekou Makalu. The player that enables, kind of the Kwaka Smith alternative in terms of the player that enables France to go with that 6-2 split. They did that against us, actually. About 3 years ago now, I think it was, when we went over there and just lost to them. But Stade Francais with a bit of possession here. Penalty advantage comes from the referee with the arms behind the ball. A bit of chip and chase from Tanga. That's a bit of good skill set from the number 8. And he's received it as well. Bit of space out wide. Good tackle coming here from Harold Forster. But Stade Francais into the 22. Very nice support play that from Motassi. Ball pops up here and taken into contact is Basenti. Ball available now for Stade Francais inside the 22. Looking for ball carriers. It's a nice tackle there came from Gerrit Stedekamp and Ulrich Lowe. Now Makalu, the captain. Marcel Garcia trying to bring him down. Eventually does. Looking for options here is Motassi. It was Carbonell, by the way, the number 10 who got taken off. So you're going to see Joe Jonas doing a lot of the playmaking duties in the number 15 jersey, the South African. Right, they decide to go to the corner here, have Stade Francais with all that confidence. Kieran saying the Munster clash can be a real hard clash. That is going to be... When is that, actually? Munster Northampton. Yeah, 5:15. I think I might actually just run out of screens for that, to be honest, because my Lions are playing at the same time. And I was going to do the watch-along, but if I do 2 watch-alongs, then I'm going to fall asleep in the 10 o'clock one tonight, and the Stormer one's going to be good fun. So you got to try and choose, don't we? But it's looking really more here for Stade Francais. Nobody really ahead of them. Now it starts to falter. Cameron Honeycomb's got his hands on the ball. This could be very well defended. It is very well defended. And the referee has called on the turnover. Very good work that from the Bulls. And particularly Cameron Honeycomb got his arms through. Got his arms around the ball carrier. And then they managed to bring them down. Albert saying that French Spock test we should have won. But that showed me the Boks would win the World Cup. Oh yeah, true. It was the first time we had seen a lot of tactical noose coming from Ninova and Rassi Erasmus. That was when we basically just didn't kick to them, and didn't allow them to build from 22 and the likes. Right, so we're breaking play. We're going to have our first scrum of the day. They don't need to worry too much about bringing on a prop or anything, because it was the far half that was binned. But Kieran reckons that let's put out a B team and still beat Bath. I'll tell you, Bath have been good so far this season. Also, beating not disrespect the GOAT, Finn Russell. Thomas Troy coming off the bench later here for Bath. Louis Schroeder on the bench as well, as is Jaco Katsia and Francois van Beek. So a lot of South Africans in that game if you want to watch it, if you're a South African looking at South Africans abroad. But otherwise, watch out for the likes of Finn Russell. But the Leinster side is Prendergast at 10. Porter, Kelleher, McCarthy, Ryan. It's not entirely a first-string squad, but it's not far off. Geordie Barrett is starting. Arcus Neyman coming off the bench. Kellen, it's a proper bench, I'll tell you what. That's a great bench that Leinster have got later. And a bit of a reset here. Very empty stadium at Loftus, but in fairness, there is a cricket match happening down the road where if you take a one at the catch, you can win a share of 2 million rand. I would probably favour the cricket than the rugby if I was them. You know, in terms of a profit making a scheme. You know, you got to maximize revenue these days. 2025. You know, you got to find some side hustles. Big scrum there. Big scrum. Penalty of Orange as well. Yeah, Cameron Honicle wants to go down the short side. And the penalty does come for the Bulls. Then they'll be very sharp with that. I mean, you expect them to have the upper hand at scrum time. We're talking about two current Springbok props. Jan Robillard played the game for the Springboks as well. You got Ruben O'Keefe, Springbok, Ulrich Lowe, current Springbok, Cameron Honicle, current Springbok. The only two players not currently in the box squad are Ruben Vermaak and Marcel Coetzee. Marcel Coetzee has had many a cap for the box. And I think Ruben Vermaak actually could be on the fringes, to be honest. I think he's very, very underrated as a player. Kieran asking, how do you reckon Barrett has fitted in? I actually haven't watched a lot of Leinster. I keep meaning to try and watch some more. And I've seen a couple of games where they look pretty good. Seems to be having a good time. I mean, it must be nice to be a sportsman like him, like, for example. I mean, there's a lot more he'd like to do in his career, but he's already done so much at his age that he can go and do like a bit of a side quest, go play a bit for Leinster. So nice to be in that sort of position. Another penalty coming here for the Bulls, and not rolling is the call against Stade Francais. Good work there from Harold Forster. Also, a bit of a strange player who's really done a lot of journeymaning as Harold Forster. Never really managed to crack a nod at an international level, for example, or anything higher than what he's currently playing. But he's a solid player. He's very much a player you kind of know what you get out of him. Good work this year. Short side to Marcel Coetzee. A very nice carry coming from the Bulls, number 6. Rosie Pigger's left-hand side to Gerard Stennekamp has ran a very good line. Brought down at a penalty against the Bulls this time. And I think it is... Is that holding on? It's an interesting call. Yeah, holding on is the call. So good breakdown work that from Stade Francais. It was good pressure and good energy being shown by the Bulls. Joe Jonas is going to kick to touch here. Yeah, it's not a great kick, but he does find touch. But Carbonell is ready to come back on, so should be back to full contingent very soon. That yellow card coming pretty early on in the game. Kieran saying Leinster using the box defense system this year, showing they're playing much more conservatively. I'm very interested to see. Look, the main thing is, especially with the Leinster side, and it's a knock on there coming from the Bulls, and much so they had a lineup. I'm very interested to see how that goes when they get to the playoffs. At the end of the day, we all know Leinster are going to get to quarterfinals, semi-finals of the Champions Cup, quarterfinals, semi-finals probably of the URC. And I think I'd agree. They're not scoring as many points as they were a couple of seasons ago, but we're actually not sure if it's a bad thing because whilst they might be playing more conservatively on attack, for example, the idea is they're going to be far more compact and far less leaky on defense. And I think that's kind of sometimes been their problem in the last few years is that they've been far too easily taken apart. And I mean, you think about those comebacks, for example, that La Rochelle had against them, and you're going, how have they lost those games? Huge coming from the Bulls, but Tanga does manage to get it away. And the Stade Francais ball bobbles, however, and Stefan Gans has managed to dive on it. So turnover ball here for the Bulls, and the referee does blow his whistle, and it will be another scrum. Lots of scrums here, and I think this for me, if I was a betting man, I would be betting that this is going to be a scrum penalty. Let's see. As I said, I reckon this has got penalty written all over. That bull scrum has been so dominant so far in the early stages. That's pretty good though. Holding pretty steady. And Robespierre does lose a guy on the left-hand side. Devin Williams at first receiver. You got Stephen Gans. Stephen Gans got some nice pace about him. Brings in Sergio Peters, and Sergio Peters such a skillful wing. But he's also got a bit of pace. Ball back inside. What? Devin Williams! Devin Williams going under the poles. That is absolutely sensational. That is Bulls rugby at its best. Devin Williams, Stephen Gans, Sergio Peters with the skill set. And what a nice try that it is for the second within 30 minutes. Brilliant stuff at Loftus. So easy. I mean, they basically scored that try without a single Stade Francais player touching any Bulls players. That is so good. And that's kind of what the Bulls had done a couple of years ago. And we kind of gotten quite used to it. And yet we just haven't seen enough lately. Such a good kick and ball back inside for Sergio Peters. Just dropping onto the left of his boot. Ball back inside to Devin Williams. Devin Williams' support player is so good. And they're over 12-0. Kick right in front of the poles to Johan Koos. And we've actually hardly seen Johan Koos. The only thing he's had to do so far will be probably this was I think the restart and then this conversion. It was even a penalty try the first up. And I have to say, what do you think about the young boy BS? He's on the bench for Stud. I'll be honest, I haven't watched a lot of him. So I only really know him by reputation rather than actually having watched a lot. But I think he's 20 years old. And I was doing a bit of research about him, about the team and stuff like that. So very young, supposedly very talented, but I'm very keen to see it. And he's going to be scrumming against, he'll be scrumming against Sakweni. So it would be nice for him to scrum against like Acheros Denekam, for example. But hopefully we might even get to see that and be able to sort of see exactly, because that's for me the big thing when you see like these young props, is where are they in their scrummaging, for example. Are they just these really dynamic ball carriers and they're actually just not quite ready physically even, to cope in the scrums, or are they, really strong, very good technically and can scrum. So when you see a young prop that can scrum, you can start to get very excited about things. I mean, for example, you look at the rise of Bevan Rodd for England and how important he's going to become, I think, for England in the next few years, because he's a really solid scrummager and they can actually start to dominate scrums and set pieces when he's on song. It's another penalty for Stade Francais, and Carbonell is back on the park, so I'm just remove that yellow card. Now go to the right-hand corner and try and set up a line up there. Big carry, they're coming from Vilko Low. Right, so 14-0, 50 minutes gone. Stade Francais, been inside the 22, but haven't really created too many chances just yet. An opportunity to try and hit back. And they go. It's a nice line out, very nicely brought down. It comes away from Tango, who brings in his scrum off. But a good defense, so they have to form the ruck. Carbonell coming in to help out, and it's a good carry that coming from Percenti. As Matassi, or actually Sekou Makulu decides to take on the scrum half duties, but now we've got Matassi back on his feet. Keeping nice and short our Stade Francais. Tell you what, if they're going to hit the strip tonight, no one's going to miss them in this pink kit. That's a bit of 50-50 offload, but well held by Percenti. Just doing a lot of hard graft with the number 5. Now to the right-hand side, drifting is Pierre Huguet. And back goes to Tanga. And now Joe Jonas wants to try and kick ahead, but he's going straight into the hands of Ruben O'Keefe. He's put it to the boot. Tell you what, the race is on here. They've got 2 Bulls players on, and it's been left behind. Oh, goodness me. Where's it going to cross to? Sergio Peterson's now fallen, and I think this is going to get dabbed down in the end by Leo Monian. In fact, he actually leaves it. But that could have been very, very interesting. Wade says the referee here. They might be looking at a potential obstruction, so it could be more issues coming here for Stade Francais. So we go back to the knock-on over here. Any new kicking talents coming up from SA? Not really. I don't know if you count Sasha from Zulu. He's probably about the only one I can really think of. Obviously, Jordan Hendrickson, but they've already played Springboks. So, at junior level, who was the flower of last out of 20? He had an appalling tournament. I actually think that kicking talents are going to be at a premium in a few years' time, because I think we're seeing a shift. A lot of South African fly halves and fullbacks and the likes of that are not prioritizing skill sets like kicking, and rather looking at their playmaking abilities, for example, a bit of X factor, because we're seeing a shift towards that being exciting. People want to play like, a Mine Liebach when he's on song, a Romain Intermac, these really, a Marcus Smith, these really exciting attacking fly halves. I think gone are the days where people want to kind of become that the Butch James type, or very solid defensively, good skill set. Maybe nothing spectacular, but very, very solid and good under pressure. Big scrum came from the Bulls, but they do manage to use it. Matassi goes to the right-hand side, bit of space here. Long pass out wide. Little piece needs to shift. He does shift. Step back inside. There's a good one from Storty, but penalty coming. And that's Johan Goosen of all people who've actually got his hands on it and won the penalty at the breakdown. Big smile on his face. And why not? Why not? I think the backline players must absolutely love it when they get that opportunity to get that that moment, that that turnover, for example, that breakdown penalty, something that they're not really known for or expected to really do. Well, he tried to get here quickly, has Johan Goosen. He's not found touch. And Joe Jonas now will kick downfield. Straight into the hands of Moscow. See, he's up to a big run. Oh, cheap as me. Oh, my goodness. Well, he's popped a shoulder there. And it's Percenti's absolutely hammered down. Now we're going to give opportunity here for the Bulls. But Bulls now popped back up, then gone forward to have your scrum. That's a massive hit, though. Master, because it's a penalty. And Ebos Perez there quickly. Ebos Perez got the pace. He's got the awareness. And he's over. That's brilliant from the Bulls scrum off. Stade Francais caught absolutely napping. And the Bulls bring up try number 3 within 20 minutes. And a lot of people will be asking, where has this been? Where has this been? Where has this Bulls side been? That is so potent, so switched on. Yes, maybe it might not be the strongest Stade Francais side. But as Budabek says, the bus is full. And Malskin said, unlucky, boys. Just want to see a replay. I'm not sure we're going to get to see the replay, given the fact they just scored a try. And both appear such good awareness. Looks up, sees that Stade Francais aren't taking too much notice. Take a quick tap, and over he goes. Mark Cerny giving him the ultimate praise. Going Ambrose Dupont. Very jealous boy where I got to watch Dupont last week. I was in France 2 years ago, but he was obviously still injured when I watched France play, so I didn't get to actually watch him, which is quite bleak. I won't lie, quite bleak. And the restart there, Devin Williams will go down 2 pounds. So 21 points to nil. Stade Francais really not have arrived so far. So they've been pretty poor in all honesty. Expecting a lot better from them. Not that I think anyone's complaining about the Bulls, winning the game, but it'll be nice if it was a bit closer, to be perfectly honest. I don't think anybody actually likes watching a blowout, unless maybe it's like a World Cup semi-final and the box is just going to blow somebody away. But apart from that, something like this, when I'm a neutral, I don't want to watch a blowout. I want to watch a fairly competitive game. So 21 points to nil is not really that attractive to me. I'd love to see Stade Francais putting a little bit of a comeback, even maybe. And try and make the Bulls sweat a bit, make them work for this victory. Goes short, and it's very nicely carried there. And the left-hand side back to Tango. I'd like to see a bit more of him actually with ball in hand. But better the serve out from Stade Francais. Tackler rolls and Semikhas as well. They're inside the 22. Now, a bit of step inside, and Bruce Pierre's been sat down. And I tell you what, he might be over here. We're going to have to wait and see. He is celebrating. I'm not convinced. We're going to have a look. I'm not convinced. The celebration, I don't think Stade Francais has scored yet. You're having a check here. Bulls, in fact, are under the poles here, so I think we actually might yet have a try. I have to wait and see. By the way, it's actually flipping so hot. Not that I'm complaining. It's been so miserable in Joburg the last few months. Now, no try. That's what I thought it was. I don't think we're going to see a try. But there is a penalty advantage. So a penalty for Stade Francais. So they're not quite on the board, but they do have a penalty. But saying, how long do you think it's going to take for any of our clubs to win this competition? I don't think we'll be getting to semi-finals, semi-finals and finals for at least another 2, maybe 3 seasons. I think at the end of this season, we should hopefully have a financial injection coming in from being members from the URC, for example. In next season, we should be getting money out of the EPCR. There's obviously the equity deal. So hopefully in the next 1, 2, 3 years, we should have a big cash injection into our unions, where that means we're going to start bringing players back from overseas, for example, where that just means we're going to be able to retain more talent as they come through. Not entirely sure. Personally, I'd also like to see us go and bring other players in. I don't see why we can't be bringing in players of other nationalities, which I know is like completely taboo for a lot of people. They're like, oh, but you just take a spot of the youngster, which I really don't subscribe to. I think it's a global game. And I think there's lots of clever deals you could do with even smaller nations to bring in some really good players and add depth to our squad. But Stade Francais on the front foot chain. Varsity, half gap. He's been held up by Marcel Garcia. And now trying to hold up. Release is the call from the referee. Might be penalty advantage. Nothing yet. Now penalty advantage coming. Free roll the dice here for Stade Francais. They can go right, they can go left. There's a bit of space on the right hand side. I'll be fancying that, I must admit. Pick up and go though. And has he got his hands through? I don't think so. And now has he got grounding? I think the referee wants to award it. He has awarded it. And I think it is the captain that's he's had enough, and he just gets up, he slams the ball down, says, "Thank you very much. Let's get going." Well, you know what they say: if you want something done, do it yourself. Or isn't it actually? It could actually be Isaac Coffey's actually gone over there. So Mackley was standing next to him. I'm sure it's Mackley. Yeah, it is Mackley. I don't know why they're busy showing Isaac Coffey on the screen. It was definitely Sekou Mackley who's gone over. But another person says 2025, we South Africa can still win. Never underestimate. Problem is our only chance is like the Sharks, really, or likely to be the Sharks, and no, I don't back them to win the Champions Cup. No. Despite how good their players are, despite that they should be doing better, something in that union that's not quite not quite right. Kieran says, SA guy on another channel told me that SA doesn't traditionally emphasize the number 10 role the way as Northern teams do. What do you reckon? I would disagree with that. I think we definitely do prioritize fly half. I think most people, when they go watch rugby, for example, they're always looking at the fly half, for example. Maybe not so much in terms of... I don't think we have the fly half depth that a lot of the Northern teams do. I mean, you look, for example, at Leinster, and you've got Ross, Harry Byrne, Sam Prendergast. You've got lots of options there. And they had all three other options, and they still had Johnny Sexton. So maybe we don't prioritize it enough in terms of building genuine depth there. But I do think, it's a position that we do value a lot. So maybe we don't prioritize it as such. Maybe we just don't produce enough. I don't know if that's because we're not prioritizing it, or if, I think the problem is, I think a lot of players come through school playing a very kind of like X-Factor type of thing. I think, you look at our fly halves at school level, and they love to step, they love to carry the ball themselves. They're not necessarily playmakers. And they then get to, your senior levels, and they often get moved to fullback, to centre, for example. Damien Villeneuve, was one of the big schoolboy fly halves. And, he's now settling at fullback for the Boks, at inside centre as well. That's a great ball over the top. Embrace Peter with a bit of space. No, in fact, Williams puts it in behind for Cyril Peterson. He won't quite have the pace, but it'll be a 5-metre line out. It's an interesting one, actually. It's quite an interesting idea. I do think a lot of these players, I think David Williams, played fly half, for example, when he was at school. I want to say Billy LaRue also played fly half at school. A lot of players play fly half at school and often get moved into sort of the centers and fullbacks when they get to sort of the senior levels. We definitely have had an issue and a shortage of fly halves in the past and recently, and it's definitely a position we need to focus on. But maybe we don't it's not quite the be-all and end-all. I suppose we are quite forwards dominated as well, to a certain degree, and you kind of play to your strengths. It's an interesting concept, though, in terms of how we view our fly halves. Look, maybe I'm also biased because growing up when I was at school, I was a fly half. Not a very good one. But, so I sort of always just love watching fly halves play. Maybe that isn't quite what everybody's cup of tea is. Anyway, the Bulls are 5 metres out from the good line. There's Stedman Hunt's carrying strongly. Presented for Ambrose appeared down the left-hand side. Cameron Honeycomb. Ball over the top. Burn for Mark. Oh, he's got grounding. Has he got grounding? Yep. He's all good. And that is the bonus point try for the Bulls within half an hour. And I think everyone's going to be asking, where has this been? Where has this been? And they are all over Stade Francais here. There's been one-way traffic. Complete one-way traffic. Good ball over the top. Going from Mark takes the hit really well here. It's a high tackle, almost looks, actually. And doesn't quite get the grounding initially. And they're having a look here. But I do think then he turns his leg. There's grounding there. Oh, I tell you, this could actually be quite close. This could yet be quite close. No, I think they're quite happy with it. No, fair enough. They did say on field they saw grounding, so they stuck with that there. Albert says, okay, on Rugby 365, it's not so bad. Just a backpack nick from Stormer's room. I suppose not too bad unless it's your backpack, but I feel like they mostly can probably afford to replace whatever was in there. And Sean Farrell says, pressure got to them in the last 3 rounds. Yeah, Bulls had a very strange campaign. Last week were absolutely hammered. Hammered. But lost to Castro 49 points to 10. They should never. I mean, that Northampton game, I think they should have won. And that's now out in the full by Carbonell, so that's not ideal at all. And they got pummeled by Saracens, where they were so poor. But again, you win that Northampton game, and you'll be going into this game with at least 4 points, and you then beat Stade Francais. And the main thing is, you might not still qualify, but for example, they've got 5 points loading. So if they had beaten Northampton, for example, they would have been 9 points, which is tied with Castro. So their points difference is really poor. But if they had then picked up another point somewhere, then they could have gone through. The main thing, and this is why I think a lot of the teams, and this is why you can. Everyone talks about us disrespecting the competition, but you can get to the next round by, and Johan Pusson's off, by the way, speaking of fly halves, you can get to the next round by winning just 2 games. 2 games more or less should get you into that next round. You look at most of the groups, for example, and the Sharks, for example, have only won 1 game and they could still get through. You know, they could lose tonight and they're still going to get through. You know, imagine getting through the next round with 1 win, which maybe does show that the format does need a bit of a change. I think we need to go to smaller groups. Or deep as me. The ball's been left behind there. Kicked ahead. This is going to be a try with Stade Francais. If the ball does stay in, which is not going to. That's pretty heartbreaking, isn't it? When you know you've got the pace, you know you're going to get there first, and the ball just decides not to cooperate. So another person, I'll tell you what the permutations are. I'm very happy to oblige. They are as follows. So the Bulls cannot qualify for the next round of the Champions Cup. Stade Francais can. If Stade Francais were to get a bonus point win, they would go ahead of Castro, who will play later today, I think, or tomorrow. The Bulls cannot get into the Champions Cup next round. They can't, because they can't catch Castro. However, if they were to win with a bonus point today and were to beat Stade Francais very substantially, I think by literally 40 odd points, they would then go into 5th place, which would get into the Challenge Cup round of 16. So at the moment, I'll actually just bring out the calculator. Stade Francais, by the way, on the front foot, ball over the top, and I think it's actually been knocked forward or potentially offside or something along the line, surely. Referee does stop play. Let's do a bit of maths quickly. They got to win by 43 points, is by my math, because they'll then go into 5 points, and if they win by 44 points, then Stade Francais will... No, I'm lying. So it is, because they're playing against each other, 22 points. I think they need to win by 22 points, and then they go to the next round. So if the Bulls win by 22 points, by my maths, I'll check it at half time and double check. But I think by my maths, if Bulls win by 22 points, so as things stand, they'll be just short. They then go into 5th place, and they'll then go into Challenge Cup. There we go. Get there. In the end, top 4 into Champions Cup, top 5, 5th goes into the Challenge Cup. And but basically, in my opinion, whenever Ruan Okia is not available, the leadership looks a bit shaken. The boys look lost. Interesting. I mean, I hate co-captains. No, man, that's a little bit unnecessary, boys. First of all, we're having a drinks break. I mean, it's a balmy 27 degrees here in Johannesburg, so maybe 28, 29 in Pretoria. It's usually 1 degree hotter. We've got the water boys out, as well as umbrellas, because apparently they are allergic. Well, to be fair, they are. They do live in Paris, and I was there. And it did piss with rain the one day, but generally the weather in Paris wasn't bad. Jake White must be the most dialed in coach when you coaches. You've got Cash Van Rooyen, and he's on his walkie-talkie, usually a laptop in front of him. Dobson's got the laptops lined up. Jake White is sitting in his little desk chair, basically in his shorts. And the man's in his shorts, cross-legged, kind of just watching. Obviously, he's barking instructions into his handheld, but yeah, not exactly sitting there on the laptop having a look at different stats and the likes of that. Massive scrum coming from the Bulls, though. Penalty advantage, left-hand side, long pass out to Stefan Gans. Well, we've seen this kind of position before. Now, Cyril Peterson, look at the pace he's got. Ball back inside. That was a forward pass. We almost saw an absolute carbon copy of the try we saw earlier. Literally, Stefan Gans pace out wide to Sergio Peterson, who then tried to chip it back inside. Unfortunately, the pass for Stefan Kans going forward. We'll go back all the way to the 10-meter line for that penalty. And yeah, so sorry, another person. I'm pretty sure it's 22 points because obviously it's reverses, so whatever the Bulls points difference is going to reduce by, Stade Francais will go up to. I forgot they were actually playing against each other. Sean Farrell says, unfortunately, most of the squads in the Six Nations have some sort of co-captain. I hate co-captains. I don't see what the point is. I mean, it's an ego boost. I mean, is it England? They ran onto the field with 4 co-captains at one stage. Or was it 1 captain and like 5 co-vice captains? Like, do you really, as a player, need to see a little VC next to your name to feel important? I don't understand it. Like, there's lots of leadership groups, and that's fine. By all means, have a leadership group and be part of the leadership group. Do you really need to be officially the vice captain to make you sleep better at night? I don't know. I think it's a bit weird. There is a replacement, Joe Jonas. I did say temporary replacement, I believe. So Joe Jonas is off, I think potentially with blood. Meanwhile, obviously, Buddha Chamberlain's come on for Jan Goosen. But in terms of the equations here, 19-point penalty and for the Bulls in front of the Poles could take the points here. If they were to get the points, it would be a 22 win. By my maths, that should get them into the Challenge Cup. But I think we're playing with so much confidence, kick it into the touch and go for the try. No, they are taking the points. Buddha Chamberlain's asked for this kicking tee. Quite an entertaining half, actually. I'll admit, at first I wasn't particularly happy with the fact that Bulls looked like they were running away, but it's starting to get a little bit better. Starting to actually have to earn their tries a little bit more. And by the way, we're trying this new goal thing, so you can set a goal in your live stream for like super chat stuff like that. And so the team was asking, well, what are we going to make the goal? So what we did make it is if we get 5 super chats, which is quite ambitious, Steve's going to get a beer. So no plans on getting a beer ski. Got to try and do the bit of the December shred. My January shred after the December bulk. Not that it was a planned December bulk. But yes, so if you would like to contribute towards Steve going and getting a beer, then feel free to add a super chat. Absolutely no pressure whatsoever, and we're just trying out the feature because it's new, and you're always going to try something out new. Anyway, Carbonell gets us back underway. This time he keeps it in field, and well taken by Albert Lowe, flings it to us right to Mrosa Pierre, and he will find touch as we enter the last, head towards the last 5 minutes. That looks like Joe Jones back on the field, though, which is good to see. Think I have to just zoom in there, but I'm pretty sure it's him. It looks like his hair. Yeah, it's Joe Jonas back on the field. Got it straight out of school was Joe Jonas. I don't even think he actually ever officially played for the Sharks at senior level. That's knocked out deliberately, and that'll be a penalty once again for the Bulls. He wasn't scouted by Stade Francais, though. He was scouted by Biarritz initially. And then made the move to Stade Francais. It was last year. More and more, I think players, were being scouted to go to France quite early. I don't know if we're going to continue seeing it. I mean, some people didn't work. For example, George Cornier, who's actually had to retire, and you've then got, I think it was Kate Volter went over and then came back. I'm sure he went over to Montpellier. Was it Montpellier? I want to say it was Montpellier. Yeah, it was Montpellier. Never actually played for them. Went over there, and obviously, to be fair, COVID probably didn't help. But interesting that you're going to see a lot of French scouts at the South Africa school system ready to try and grab a couple. Good line at that for the Bulls. They're inside the 22, though. Ball coming available for you. And Krabalog goes to the right-hand side. Mrosa Pierre goes short to Semen Khans. Nice and direct is the outside centre. Back down the left-hand side. Mrosa Pierre goes to Albert Lowe with a bit of space. And he throws off Matassi. He's just short here as Albert Lowe. Bulls looking for try number 5. And Jan Krabalog is left behind. Backwards is the call. is then kicked behind and then I think knocked on by Tanga. This should, by my count, be a Bulls knock on unless there was something that happened that I didn't pick up. If this is a Bulls scrum, I think they'll take that because they've been so dominant. This is a very good position for them to be in and have that scrum. Right, 2.5 minutes left on the clock. Bulls, I think, with a scrum, if I'm not mistaken. Trying to see which scrum I've got the ball. I think it actually seems to be... Is it Stade Francais got the ball? I actually can't see where's the ball. Where's Ambrose here? Oh, yeah. So this is Stade Francais scrum. Yeah, Ambrose is actually joining the defensive line. So it's not a Bull scrum. So I must have missed the knock on there. It was a massive shot from the Bulls. And have they managed to get that out? No, they've not. It is a penalty for the Bulls. Volko Low and Gerrie Steenekamp are having an absolute party at scrum time. And they are hammering the Stade Francais front row. Goodness me. This is starting to get like slightly abusive, in all honesty. This is not fun for people. Pick up and go, and Albert Lowe, has he got over? I think he has indeed. Stade Francais once again kind of caught a little bit lacking. And Bulls over try number 5 in the first half. That's the absolutely perfect half for Jake White's men. So good. So powerful as well. It's the physicality. I think that's the big thing. You know, where's the physicality? Been all season. This Bulls side, this is kind of what we expect from them. We expect them to be one of the most physical sides in the competition. We haven't seen that recently. Sekou Makalou actually had a chat and wanted to have a word over there, but the referee having none of it. So 34 points to 7. That, by my count, should put them into the Challenge Cup if the game were to end like that. I'd be very surprised after over 40 points in the first half. We don't get any points in the second half, but that is the current situation. So right now, it was just another person. You are going through, assuming you're a Bulls fan. If you're not, then my bad. But right now, the Bulls are going to go through to the Challenge Cup round of 16, as Buddha Chamberlain adds that as well. So 37 points to 7, 30-point margin, and pretty comfortable going into halftime. That Buddha saying, could Bath rugby coach improve Bulls if he got the job? Jan van Graan. Well, if he does what he's done at Bath, then very much so. I would love to see him back in South Africa. I do think he's one of the front runners, him and Franco Smith, probably for the Bok coach, unless they promote internally and you look at like Zondile Stick. But he's done a very, very impressive job at Bath, and I think that that'll stand him a good set to try and, or tell you what, Shuttle Pieces knocked that forward very, very dramatically. And turn over ball for Joe Jonas. Bit of space now for the young South African. Penalty advantage as well. Chip over the top from Carbon. It's not the greatest kick in the world. And I'll go back for the penalty. We're having a check here. I don't think it's actually too bad foul play. I think it's just a high tackle. I don't think anything more serious than anything yet. And they've set the line about 10 meters out here of Stade Francais. They're trying to get a try in before half time. And the turnover ball, I think on the knock on there. So that is half time, and they're not happy with the referee on the Stade Francais players. And Isaac Coffey in particular having a bit of a go. But half time, and it is the perfect half really for the Bulls. 36 points to 7, they lead. And at this stage, looking good to go into that Challenge Cup round of 16. But we'll have to wait and see if they can hold on to that lead and make sure they continue that 22-point margin in the second half. Don't go away. Smash a like on the video. Subscribe to the channel as well. And we'll see you guys in a little bit. Right, and we are back for the second half, and the Bulls leading Stade Francais 36 points to 7. What a first half it was for Jake White's men. And I tell you what, they play like that, and maybe they could go potentially all the way for the in the Challenge Cup, because right now they are looking good to make the Challenge Cup round of 16, where they'll actually probably be one of the favourites, to be honest, once they drop down there. So as long as they start playing to their potential and not what we've seen so far in the Champions Cup, which is a team that has looked a bit of a shadow of what we've been seeing in the last few years. So it's been very frustrating, I think, for Bulls fans, but that first talk kind of showed them more a little bit what they're actually really about, and they still got the quality players. Look, they have named a very strong side, in fairness, but still can't take away from the performance. And let's see what the second 40 holds in store for us. Let me know what you thought about that first 40 in the poll, yeah? And 81% of people say that the Bulls are going to win. And the next question I'm going to ask is, can the Bulls... Oh, what? Should the Bulls focus on winning the Challenge Cup or URC? Now, obviously, they still need to get into the Challenge Cup, which they need to finish those 22 points. But if you're a Bulls fan, what should you prefer to win? You know? So I'm interested to actually see what people would prefer. I mean, obviously, I don't think they'll be finished outside the top 8 in the URC. I think they'll already be back in the Champions Cup next year. It's not like the Sharks, for example, kind of, not to say flux, they won the tournament, but got themselves into the Champions Cup by winning the Challenge Cup last season. The Bulls, I think, should finish comfortably in that top 8 and get Champions Cup qualification. But what should you prefer to win if you're a Bulls fan? As a Lions fan, probably prefer to win the URC, if I'm being perfectly honest, although I suppose in the Challenge Cup does get us into the Champions Cup, which we haven't actually played in yet. So that's an interesting one. Actually, not entirely sure what my answer would be. So I'm very interested to see. Oh, jeepers, that's a massive carry. McAloo's been hammering backwards. I'll tell you what, the physicality the Bulls have shown so far has been absolutely sensational. And I think that's been a big part, when you're so dominated physically, for example. I think that's where Stade Francais has really, really struggled. Just haven't been able to get into the game at all. The ball's allowed to bounce there. Ball's back into the hands of Tango. Goes to Coffee. Now Francis Cadella takes it into contact. Driven back here at the moment. It's a big carry coming from Ruan from Mark. As I said earlier, I think he's so underrated as Ruan from Mark. I don't think he would look in the wrong place in a box spot, to be honest. There was, however, a knock on earlier on by Stade Francais. So going to go back for the scrum, and the scrum has been a massive weapon for the Bulls so far. They've absolutely hammered Stade Francais at scrum time. Justice, what do you think of Honeycomb, Fenter, and Lowe as the back three versus Issy this year? Honeycomb, Fenter, Lowe. Yeah, I mean, I suppose because you could have Lowe at eighth man, which is kind of where he's often played, especially for the box. Kind of suits more the box 8th man vibes. You could have Honeycomb in the number 6 jersey. And future going Ruan Fenter in the number 7. Not opposed, Justin. Not opposed. I like the idea, actually, even if it's against Georgia. But Ruan Fenter back this evening, so I just know. I wish there was a betting market for Ruan Fenter's going to sit somebody down. That could be the safe. You could bet your house on that. I don't think I've seen too many games where Ruan Fenter has not sat somebody down so far in his career. I mean, Hamish Watson, I think it was the same season where he went the entire Six Nations without missing a tackle, and he got absolutely pummeled by Ruan Fenter. One of those where he's like clutching an air type of things. So I think it would be a very good aspect to be, actually. They wouldn't necessarily be playing in the position that they play at franchise level. That's it. I think Lowe would shift to the 8, Honeycomb would shift to the 6. Ruan Fenter would probably hang on to the 7, but that would be it. A couple of changes here for Stade Francais and props. New props. That's the beginning of the year. So Hugo Dion as well. And I think there was also Braxton Louis Assi. And unfortunately, new props, same result as Kevin Honeycomb gets held up by Sego Makalou, but there was a penalty advantage, and Rosa Pierre getting a bit of space. So they're playing on the referee. Johan Krobler going to the right-hand side, and Bullet Chamberlain Holds on to the pass now. Finds a bit of space. Devin Williams. Look at the pace of Devin Williams. And he spills it forward. They'll go back for the penalty. But what a brilliant scrum once again. It's a proper weapon in this Bulls scrum at the moment. And one which I think they've missed throughout the season. I think if they've had that kind of scrum, then I think life would have been a little bit easier for them in this competition. They'll go back for the penalty, and I'm sure they'll just kick towards touch over here. And they don't find touch, and they kick it back. Cameron Hanekom's there to clean up. Really, really frustrating not to have found touch there. And, interception from Stade Francais. Oh, no, it's a disaster from Stade Francais. Looking for support. Oh, throws a bit of Chamberlain. Does he have the pace? He doesn't quite. Oh, he does. The momentum takes him over, and he goes onto the scoreboard. Bulls get their second half going in the perfect fashion. And Stade Francais take a bow. He was the one that really started that. Well, as Stade Francais, you're going to be so frustrated with that kind of conceded try. Really, really not good. I mean, the Bulls make the initial error, provide you an opportunity. You try and throw a 50-50 pass. Stade Francais, thank you very much. What is very well, yes, Stade Francais. He just draws in a couple of players, then pops over and Buddha Chamberlain at full pace. And a beautiful loft to surface just glides over with the player. And no issue with the conversion as well. So Bulls are very much in charge. This has been an authoritative performance from them. And as I said, I think most people will be asking, where's this been? But if you're a Bull fan, I don't think you really care to a certain degree. Because I think you're probably far more likely to win the Challenge Cup than you are the Champions Cup. The quality of the Champions Cup teams are so, so good. And you're consistently having to try and, balance your squads and the whole like. So I think it becomes a really, really difficult tournament to try and win. So yeah, I don't think it's actually the worst thing for the Bulls to be dropping down to that Challenge Cup, in all honesty. And a penalty off the kickoff. So Stade Francais discipline's been absolutely shocking. It's actually been horrendously bad. Ball over the top. It's a horrible line out, and it's actually come back to Stade Francais. I tell you, it's like half the team's still back in the change. It's been really, really sloppy so far in the second half. Very, very strange. Eventually, Masati goes to the boot and does find touch. It's actually a very good touch finder right towards the halfway line. Much, much better there from Stade Francais. So 43 points to 7. The Bulls very comfortably now sitting in that Challenge Cup spot. But I don't think they want to slow it down. I think they want to try and make a bit of a statement. I think it's probably a little bit too late, really, because I think most people will sit there and say, well, what's the point of pitching up in the final round when you're already out? But this is some nice momentum going into the Exco Derby next week against the Lions, who take on the Dragons in about an hour, literally an hour's time to the minute. And back on the front foot here are the Bulls with a penalty advantage. I'm going to do a bit of a check the stats, but it's been terrible. 10,000 people watching today. It does look like a very small crowd, as I said, given the fact there's cricket down the road, which is about 25,000 people. Sebastian de Klerk's kicked around the corner and doesn't quite have the pace. Oh, it's very well done in the end. Ball back inside, but Joe Jonas under a bit of pressure. And I think he's been turned over on the ground by Harold Forster. Having Hanekom right against the touchline. Oh, I tell you what, that is phenomenal. The strength of the man. He had two players on him. Cameron Hanekom says he does not care. He still manages to get over, and that is brilliant. Well, I'll tell you what, that's how you get Erasmus' attention. Tries like that. 3 tries in the Investor Champions Cup so far this season, and that is a really, really impressive bit of skill and strength here from Cameron Hanekom. Ball in one hand, he's just holding off 2 players, keeping himself inside, slams the ball down. It's so, so good. Well, I'll take a bow because that's absolutely terrific. And the Bulls keep climbing, just keep adding and piling on the pressure here on Stade Francais. That's so, so good from Cameron. The more you watch, the more impressive it gets. It really, really is good. But they're saying Bulls line looks good today. The Bulls set piece looks good today. To be fair, I don't think there's actually anything on the Bulls I can say it looks bad at the moment. They have been that good so far. And that's a bit of a mistake from Harold Forster. One of the few Bulls mistakes they've made so far. Jake, well, looking pretty calm at the moment. Seven-handed against the Bulls is probably something they might need to address. Albert saying Bulls concentrate on the comp where they have the best chance of a home playoff spot, which I suppose that you are. Actually, no, I think they get a home playoff with the Challenge Cup. I don't think they get semi-finals yet, but we'll definitely get around to 16 in a quarterfinal by my calculation. Very, very interesting poll at the moment. It's pretty neck and neck in terms of where they should focus on winning the Challenge Cup or the URC. So interested to see how that poll is going to finish. Begging you. Bit of kicking behind Stade Francais, but Chandler gets across, does very, very well. Just to cut that off, taking absolutely no chance. And why would you? Why would you take a chance? No need to. You pretty much... and this is the thing. The Bulls are so far in charge at the moment. They don't need to worry about taking any risks or anything like. They just need to just control the game. They've got such a big lead. Getting any bigger lead doesn't really help them. So... they're 39 points ahead. It's about game management here, making sure they just protect that 22-point cushion, which the easiest way of doing it, admittedly, is by continuing to score tries and continue to put points in. But But Stade Francais, you've got that one try. Can they maybe mount a bit of a counter-attack? And another penalty for the Bulls. I'm just trying to actually find the sort of penalty count we have seen from Stade Francais, because it has been absolutely atrocious how bad their discipline has been. And does fine touch. Very good touch by Will Chamberlain. But the discipline is so poor. I think the penalty count is going to be at least, in my opinion, I reckon at least over 10 penalties already. Where's my stats screen over here? Okay, Moody's onto the park, so he gets a nice round. He's replaced Devin Hunt, so he's gone to an outside percent position where I just don't rate him at all, to be perfectly honest. About 55 knock-ons there. The referee eventually saying the first one coming from the Bulls will be a Stade Francais scrum. But let's have a look at the discipline, shall we? And where are we? Yeah, 10 penalties conceded from Stade Francais so far. That is atrocious. Just the 5 from the Bulls, so less than half the amount of penalties conceded. That's how poor Stade Francais have been from a discipline point of view. Hello, Harrison. Actually, haven't really actually seen much of Braxton so far. Actually want to try and I'm actually going to very consistently now try and have a look at what he's doing, because you're not the first person to ask about him. Very highly rated, but he's just been demolished in the scrum, unfortunately. But Sekou Makulu down the right hand side, chip and chase, and it's going to fall into the touch. Very keen to see how the 20-year-old's going to go. But it's under a lot of pressure at the moment, scrum time. It is still the starting full scrum front row, so it's tough. I mean, you're up against the likes of a Gerard Stennekamp, who's now very settled in the box, for example. So when he comes on, I'm very excited to see. I thought I was checking to see if it come on, and I'm just looking at my. So why did somebody say it was on yet? It's actually not even on yet. Well, we have to wait and see. Then. Oh yeah, number 17's on. So that's Hugo and Dai who's actually struggling at scrum time. I apologize, people. So well, when he comes on, we'll definitely monitor him. He's not the first person to ask about him, so we'll have a check and monitor exactly how he's going to go. I'm very keen to see how he scrums against Gerard Stennekamp. Afterwards, we're up against Currie, but quite a few Stade Francais replacements on here, as Andy Timo. Will actually be very nice if Rugby Pass to actually update with who's actually on here. Yeah, there we go. Because Raylan Ludwig's also come onto the park, by the way, and he's replaced Albert Lowe, who's got through a decent amount of work. Wow, that's a great break for Stade Francais. Ball back inside, and the ball, Devin Williams knocked it backwards. Devin Williams now, with a space, offloads it to, I think that's Emerson Pierre now. Bit of a showing go from Buddha Chamber. Now space out wide for the Bulls. Sergio Pearson's got the pace. Got the support inside as well. Hey, just needs hands. Oh, I can't hold on. And the knock on. They kind of butchered that in all honesty. Bulls actually had a 3-on-2 situation. Ball back inside, but actually the runners had actually overrun it. So the man was in front of them. That should have been a try. Definitely should have been a try. With the amount of space they had, that definitely should have been a try. Difficult to be harsh on a side that's currently sitting 41 points up. Akafana move on to the park now as well. So Jan Kobler giving a little bit of insight into the scrums, which is basically, well, we start and they start and we kind of just demolish them. That's the current situation. And Brosapia goes off a very, very good game again for Brosapia. Not deemed as really part of the setup for the box at the moment, but I think that he's cheap as being busy watching the SA20, and someone has taken the wildest one-handed grab straight down to kiss the wife. That is life-changing. I think it's currently being 2 million rand. So for those international viewers, it's a cricket competition happening at the moment. And if you take a one-handed catch, you get a share of 2 million rand. I think there's only been 3 catches. So that's currently sitting at like 660, what is it? 1,000 rand. It's a lot of money. That is a lot of money. But on for the Bulls is Zach Berger. So the Bulls very much emptying their bench. And Lucius Sequeni on as well as Akafanamerva. And I think that's also Francois Klopper on the other side, judging by the beard that I'm currently seeing. And I want to say that's another big scrum. That's the same result, isn't it? But Stade Francais do manage to use it. They've been very good at getting the ball out. I think that's why they managed to only concede, I think, 1 penalty from their own scrum. Hands. A bit of pace out wide now. Cuts back inside. Very busy man is Charles Laloy. The way he runs, the way he plays. Now arriving is, I think that looks like Mahmoud Mehta who was arriving there. Ball back inside. Joe Jonas. Long pass. That's a good ball. Little chip over the top, and Akafanamerva actually managed to keep that in, but then loses it forward, so it'll be a scrum for Stade Francais. Essentially all line. They might have the option here, in fairness. And if I'm there, I'm definitely taking the line out. Good line there from Stade Francais. But electing for the line, which would make a lot of sense. Down the right-hand side back here. Carbonell. Nice little wrap around. Good tackle, though. Man, got folded there. Big counter-attack coming from the Bulls, but Matosi manages to get it back out. And a teeny bit of space as Sequeni almost comes to our position, but managed to recover well. But then another penalty coming from the Bulls for hands in the ruck. And that must be penalty, at least penalty number 12. I saw a game today at Sergio Peterson. I think he's a very clever signing from Jake White. Very intelligent player, Sergio Peterson. Can play a couple of different positions as well. We're able to just knocking it to touch. Less than 20 minutes left on the clock. That's actually got 4, I think, from the line out. Oh, that's almost an interception from Caden Moody. I tell you what, Mamadou Mehta's come on, and he's an absolute unit of a man. Moves very nicely. Looks like he's got a decent amount of pace on him, but he's an absolute behemoth of a man. To be fair, I think does play at play hooker and is he actually on it hooker? I think he is on it hooker. Very confused as to what was going on over here, but yeah, he's packing down. I was very confused with what's going on over here because Luca Petriashvili is not on yet. So I think that, yeah, so he is packing down a hooker. I'm so confused with the Stade Francais side. They've got 2 hookers on the side. Look, I mean, to be fair, the way that Mamadou Mehta moves, he very much can on the flank. But Mackley comes on the right side. Once again, a chip and chase option again, but bit too far. Devin Williams got all the time in the world to try and find a return kick, and he's managed to keep it inside. Well, he's actually launched it back inside, in fairness. And on the bounce to Carbon, he's got Joe Jonas to his left. Does go to Jonas. Jonas looking for space. He drew the man in, but the pass was really, really poor in the end from the South African fullback. Bit of a no-look pass there. He had 2 minutes outside, so very frustrating from Joe Jones. Do the basics well. That's the big thing. You got to do the basics well. Well, here he comes, the youngster. Bellyback saying, you can just see that Ruan Kids out, but the functional line out. Yeah, look, fair. And as you say that, goes straight to the hands of Ulrich Lowe. It's also a change in hooker, to be fair. Jan Krabbel has also gone off. But you're right. The lad has not been as good since Ruan Nokia has left. And I was very impressed with what he did when he was at the box from a lineup perspective. Very much full of that sort of Franco Mostert role. This is really poor, though. Timing completely wrong, and Ulrich Lowe can't get up high enough in time for to take that from Akafanimova. Cameron getting a bit of attention. Looks pretty good to continue. So yeah, as it stands, Bulls will have a minus 29 difference. Stade Francais got down to a minus 68 difference, and they will get that 5th spot to go into the Challenge Cup. Couple of Stade Francais traveling fans, which is always good to see. Oh, he's got a black label as well. My man's on the Zamalek. To be fair, he could be Sacramento. But, every year's a French fan, and that's the ultimate respect. Coming down here, grabbing a Zamalek, and just hoying back a Soweto Pepsi. Things you love to see. Free kick coming from the scrum. So not the first start scrum, but something we want to watch is Braxton Luasi, who a couple of people have asked about us, but let's actually do a bit of a tracking of him and see exactly what and how he goes, shall we? And back in the pocket. Carbon at least find a good clearance here. Less than 15 minutes on the clock. Does find a decent clearance. Have another break and play. A couple of injuries trying to creep in. I think this is a lot of tired legs more than anything else. Yeah, I've got to get myself one of these zebra bucket hats. They look so cool. If anybody has one and wants to send them to me, let me know. Because they're flipping cool. Oh, another knock on. In fact, a scrum, I think. I know it is a knock on, but it is going to be a knock on from the Bulls. So it'll be a Stade Francais scrum. Big scrum, much better, much better. Good work there being done by the Stade Francais front row. Bit of a wraparound, yeah, much better. Bit of a preset move, and he goes himself, gets his hands to the tackle. And Kane Moody comes back to make the tackle. Good work that from the Bulls youngster. Back inside. Pick up and go. Ball back inside. Oh, it's a huge tackle coming Marcel Garcia. Not the first time he's flattened a Stade Francais player so far today. And to the left-hand side. Nice carry coming from... back to be held. He's being held up there. It's good work in the end from Akafana Mervis trying to carry up Andy Timo. Now a ball over the top. But very well read from Buddha Chamberlain. He's going to see a bit of space into Clark, actually. And he finds a bit of space on the left-hand side. And that ball around a touch, and he'll follow up as well. So this is good game management here from the Bulls. Just trying to play most of the rugby inside the half of Stade Francais, which is the best thing you can do, to be honest. They can't score there inside their own half. I've run him over. And Cameron Harnicorn doing very well. And he presents well as well. Zach Berger to the right-hand side. Put a Chamberlain. Oh, Caden Moody spills it forward. That's really poor from him. You expect a lot better from Caden Moody. I still don't think he should be playing Arsenal Center, to be honest. I think he really struggles in that position. And I think he's got a lot of work to do to get before he can get that run right. Another strong game. Cameron Harnicorn scored a really, really good try. Yeah, it's poor from Canterbury. You're looking at the replay. Really, really poor. Big scrum and eventually get the ball out here to Stade Francais. And a bit of pressure. And now I'd like to try and find touch Ismasotti, and I think he will find that. Does find touch. Good touch finder from him. Right, Nizam Cole coming on to see you out the final 10 minutes of the game. He was actually captaining them last week. Double loss of the ref. And yeah, a bit poor now the last couple minutes here from the Bulls. Just need to sort of really see this out. I think it need to complicate things too much here. And ball down the right-hand side. Very, very well at... that's what we're looking for. Well weighted kick. And I think they found 22 here. So it's very nice. I tell you what, he's been very good. In a losing cause, I've been very, very impressed with Tabal Matasi. He's played nicely today. Your ball over the top, Akfana Merva. He goes to the boot, hacks it downfield. And Joe Jones, that's a very nice step from him, and he's dusted. How was Akfana Merva the first one there? I mean, it's his kick, but it's a pretty big, long way to get there. And a turnover boy for the Bulls. Well, I'll tell you what, Lucas Sequini. Oh no, that the tight head is cross putting in the kicks in behind. It's not quite weighted, which is kind of what you expect from a tight head. But nice idea. Lawrence, you're clearly new to the stream because you've been having a chat with the chat the entire afternoon. As Bilderberg saying, Bulls are making too many unnecessary errors. Very, very true. They've just gotten very sloppy recently. All right, 5 minutes to go. I think job done is the main thing here from Bulls. First 60 minutes, absolutely flawless. Flawless, flawless, flawless. And Cameron Honeycomb is the investing player of the match. Good game from him. Very, very good game from him. And currently banging that door down, which is good to see. One of them probably pushed down. Not only just as an 8, but I think as a 6. The moment we really didn't have a backup to Sia Khaleesi. If Sia Khaleesi is injured, who's playing the number 6 jersey? I think it should be him. Ball's not working. Probably the first big, really more of the day actually. Akafana Merva Alwood Low coming back inside. Good work from him. Zach Berger now. Good work from Mark. Put a Chamberlain. Harold Force trying to find a bit of space outside. And penalty for rolling on the floor. Yeah, I had back base to play was much better, but unfortunately, coming to nothing in the end. But the people are up, the flags are waving, and job is done. I'm very interested to see how seriously they then take the Challenge Cup, in all honesty, and whether they then think it's something they can actually win. Well, knock on and turn over ball, yeah. So the Bulls might have one last crack of it, yeah. 3 minutes to go. Up for the mirror. Good hands up from Mark. And Cyril Peterson tries to dab him behind. Kanan Moody's got a bit of pace. And Zach Berger kicks to the head. Kanan Moody is there. Oh, cheap as me. That is was almost very, very cool from Louis Carbonell. A little back heel type of top up and... Apanamoa goes in front of the line. Good take that from around Ludwig. And it's been ripped in the tackle from, well, in the maul really, from Stade Francais. Turnover ball. Another chance goes begging for the Bulls. And Stade Francais inside their own half here. Not much really on as we go into the final minute. Carbonell goes deep. He got Zach Berger. No, it's Buddha Chamberlain. He's got Devin Williams to his left. Goes himself, Buddha Chamberlain, which is a very weird decision. It was completely honest there, but thankfully a couple of people have scrambled to assist. Now for Mark gets his hands to the tackle. Reynard Ludwig. Well, 30 seconds to go. Maybe the Bulls might yet have one more shot. And as I say that, Ulrich Lowe can't hang on. But now maybe Stade Francais got a bit of space ahead of them. Hacked forward, but Kanan Moody should be getting there first. And he'll probably just dab this down. In fact, he'll probably just watch it go out. And waited for the dive and then put it down. So scribing back where he kicked from was just by the halfway line. That will be the final play of the day. I think we will potentially have the scrum. Sure, fair say I say the Bulls will give the Challenge Cup a good go, but basically, I think the Lions need the Challenge Cup more than the Bulls. Probably. We probably do. We need basically anything and everything. but I don't think we've got enough to try and challenge for the Challenge Cup, in all honesty. So I don't think we've got the resources, as much as I'd love it. And, yep, no, nothing there at the scrum. So the referee is very happy to just call it a day. Final score over at Loftus. The Bulls run away with it, 48 points to 7. They go into the Challenge Cup. And Stade Francais drop out of all competitions. A very impressive performance that from Jake White. Be much more confident now going into the rest of the season after something like that. And, yeah, thank you very much for joining me. We'll see you guys all later for a bit of a late one, starting at 10 o'clock. So please do come join me company. There's nothing worse than doing a late night game and not having any company. So yeah, please, we'll see you guys all later. Smash like on the video, subscribe to the channel as well, and we'll see you in a bit.